Whilst I was studying at LST nearly half a lifetime ago, I decided to learn to try and play the bass guitar that had been sitting in the corner of my room for over a year. I had a few lessons, and shortly after I started, a friend of mine, an attractive young man who played guitar, was well liked by everyone, he popped by and he asked if he could have a go on my bass. He said he never played one before. And he then proceeded to sit down and make my little red bass guitar sound better than I ever could, no matter how many lessons I had or hours I practiced. Some people, it seems, have all the gifts. You may know someone like that who seems to have all the gifts. But it occurs to me that maybe some gifts are just more obvious than others. And sometimes the less obvious gifts are the most vital. In 1 Corinthians 12, Paul writes about the gifts that are given to us by God the Holy Spirit. It says there are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit distributes them. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord. There are different kinds of working, but in all of them and in everyone, the same God is at work. Now to each one, the manifestation of the Spirit is given for the common good. And here Paul gives some examples of gifts that the Spirit brings. And then he says all these are the work of one and the same Spirit, and he distributes them to each one just as he determines. You see, every follower of Jesus has the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit equips us with the gifts and talents we need to serve God. For the common good, to serve one another, to grow and build one another up. Some of our talents are more obvious, like being able to pick up any instrument and play it, and others are less so. But the value of the gifts that we have is not in what we can do. It's not in how much other people might appreciate them or notice them. The value in the gifts we have is in the one who gives them. The Holy Spirit has equipped us for times like this. He has given his church encouragers and listeners. He's given gifts of sympathy and empathy. He's given prayer warriors and those who can discern the way ahead. God the Holy Spirit has given his church all of the gifts that we need to face this storm, to overcome any circumstance, to flourish and grow. And we need to use them to serve one another for the common good, as Paul said. Each and every one of us using what we have to support and care for the others. God the Holy Spirit, the most powerful being in all of creation, dwells in you and has granted you the great gifts of God to use for his glory. Isn't that wonderful?